Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's regular meeting of the Woburn City Council, June 3rd, 2025. Just a reminder to everyone, tonight's meeting is being recorded for broadcast. Also, please silence your cell phones. If you are able, please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Higgins, if you will call a roll, please.
Counsel Campbell.
Present.
Counsel Demers.
Present.
Counsel DeMambro.
Present.
Counsel Ferrullo.
Present.
Counsel Mercer Bruin.
Present.
Counsel Papalato.
Present.
Counsel Toro.
Present.
Counsel Viola.
Present.
President Dillon.
Present.
Make a motion to dispense with the reading of the previous meeting's journal and approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
First item on the agenda, we have a presentation of the fiscal year 2026 capital budget. A communication dated May 28th, 2025 was received from His Honor the Mayor, Michael P. Concanon.
Make a motion that communications is received and made part of the permanent record.
Second.
The motion and the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Mayor Concanon, how are
I'll
you?
make a motion to suspend the rules to allow the mayor to speak.
Second.
The motion and the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. How are you, sir, tonight?
I'm well, Mr. President. How are you?
I'm very good. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much to you and members of the City Council. Thank you for your time tonight. I'm not going to go in a long, involved speech as I did with the operating budget. I'll simply point to the item. I believe you've been given a copy of the FY26, proposed capital budget. It's broken down by department, by item, by amount. What I think we'll likely do is send this to Finance, and on Thursday night at your Finance Committee meeting, we'll bring in most, if not all, of these department heads to answer any particular questions you have about the items indicated. And of course, if there's any questions between now and then, please feel free to reach out to me or any of these department heads for any explanations in advance of Thursday night's meeting. So unless you have any questions for me now.
Any questions? None, Mayor Concanon. Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Do you expect somebody from the school committee will be here to answer questions?
I will ask the school department to come and speak to their matters. I have been briefed on them, so I could explain them if necessary.
All right.
Anyone else? Councilor DeMambro.
Good evening, Mayor Concanon. I just have one small question on the Ferrillo Field and the Library Park resurfacing by Recreation. I was just wondering what project that would entail
the
up there at
courts.
Ferrillo.
The courts.
Oh, okay, the courts.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
That's all.
Councilor Campbell.
Yes, could you speak on the school for the Chromebooks and carts for technology and Woburn Reveal math curriculum? And why would curriculum be in a capital budget?
It is a significant purchase, a periodic purchase. It's not an annual operating expense. It's a bulk purchase of software. They're rolling out a new curriculum, so we do believe it's appropriate to be in the capital budget. It's not an annual recurring expense. It's a periodic expense.
Yeah, and then didn't we just recently Chromebooks? Didn't we recently vote on Chromebooks not too long ago?
There's a supply of Chromebooks that gets replenished over time. They have a 5-year or so lifespan. I believe the ones that these are replacing are back in the COVID era Chromebooks that were purchased.
Okay, all right. I'm very concerned about that, considering what they were asking for in the regular budget, to then go ahead and have these two other amounts, what, two for almost 450,000?
Yes.
Seems like a big ask right now, in my view. But
Okay.
I'd like to, I would really hope that they come
I
on
will
Thursday, because I'd like to find
Definitely
out
share
more
that
about
message
this.
with them.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Councilor Demers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think I just wanted to make a comment with regards to the, the school expenses. I think the mayor set pretty loud and clear to the schools that he wanted them to make cuts that would afford them the opportunity for these capital expenses. So it's basically the same amount. Am I right, Mr. Mayor?
It wasn't a one-for-one.
No, I understand, but I mean, in terms of bookkeeping,
The numbers do add up. The amount that Council Campbell referenced was very similar to the amount that was cut from
Right.
the operating budget. Well, I say cut.
yeah, and it's just, it's a recurring expense that the schools have to take care of. I mean, when it comes with the math curriculum, when I was on the school committee, our curriculum was like 20 years old in a lot of areas. So it's constantly changing, constantly developing new measurement tools that they can use with the curriculum. That's very important. And having just dealt with computers at work, the Chromebooks and all these devices, once they get to their shelf life, they're basically, the software licensing and the updates stop working on these things. So it's very similar to your cell phone. So it requires, they basically have us at their mercy of the technology sometimes. So I just wanted to make that note as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Yes, Councilor Mercer Bruin.
I'll just echo those thoughts because those Chromebooks probably could have been replaced a couple years ago. They take, not only does the software slow down and you need the updates, they take a beating instantly. So I totally understand that, and certainly the kids need it. I'd like to see them all have iPads, but that's certainly not in the budget. I do have some questions about the math curriculum, and I don't know, would it be appropriate just to reach out to the school department and
Sure.
get some more details?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do
But
that.
I'll also pass along the request that they join us Thursday night, but in
Okay.
the meantime, certainly reach out to them.
Great, thank you.
Councilor Toro.
Thank you. Through the president, just to Councilor Campbell, having firsthand experience with these Chromebooks, my oldest daughter got them during COVID, and she still has hers, and, it's on the tail end of its life. These things do get replaced every 4 or 5 years, and like the mayor said, we are at that point in time, so I don't see a problem. It's a big expense, in general. I think there's a lot of big expenses on here, but, I think they're necessary, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Papalato.
Thank you, President Dillon. Just from a comparison standpoint, what was last year's capital budget request, and did we spend it all, or what did we spend?
It was in the same ballpark, roughly 4.5, 4.6. At last touchback with the departments, they had or were completing all the purchases relative to last year's capital budget.
So we're on track to spend what we asked for?
Yes.
Okay, thank
And
you.
this is in line with that. And last year, the school's number was, I think, 850,000, and it's 875 this year, so similar.
Thank you.
Councilor Viola.
Thank you. Sorry, one last thing I forgot to ask, Mr. Mayor. With the district-wide maintenance projects for the facilities for $300,000, do we have a breakdown of what they plan to utilize the money for and what projects?
In our discussions with them, they did highlight some of the projects they'd want to focus on. As you can imagine, their request was higher than this. I guess I'd let them speak to the very specifics, but there is a breakdown, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Driven by the total amount that they were able to get.
Understandable.
Very good. Councilor Toro.
Sorry, one more thing on my end. Two things that I don't see on here, but I think there's an answer for it, but I know we have an issue at the Shamrock and the Linscott with their roofs. I know they're big expenses, big spends. Where are those? Because I feel like those are immediate needs that have some serious repercussions if we don't address them, both structurally, but mold issues too with leaking roofs and.
Yeah, so what you have in front of you is commonly referred to as the pay-as-you-go annual capital budget. We are looking at the Shamrock roof, which would likely be part of some sort of packaged bond that goes out, given the amount of money. Fortunately, we are pursuing a grant opportunity right now that could help us pay some of the cost of the Shamrock roof. We haven't gotten an answer yet, but we have an application submitted to try to get some money for that.
Okay, is that something that, is that, I don't want to say holding it up, but is that, are we kind of on pause with that until we hear from the grant? My only reasoning behind that is, if we are, is it possible to get it rolling, to get that work started? And if we were able to get the grant, kind of reimburse ourselves if we kept receipts and things to do the work? I'd love to see both of these roofs. I think Linscott, talking to the schools, is in a little bit more of a dire need than the Shamrock. They're both important. I saw it at the Shamrock when I was reading to the kids this year. I think you did as well. But I think the Linskip, from what I understand, there was a sailing, talking to Mr. Burnham, there was a sailing that maybe, I don't know if fell down was the right word, but like, you know, some sort of issue like that. So again, I know that's an older school likely to get replaced, but that's a while away. I just hate to see something happen to the kids.
So as you know, with the capital issues, we tend to look at them in three buckets. The first one being the pay-as-you-go, the second one being maybe the million plus to a couple of million larger projects that perhaps we package with something else and put out a bond. Then, of course, the third bucket would be the creation, the building of a new school or the building of a new fire station or something. So I would describe those as bucket two.
Sure.
We're dealing with bucket one right now, but the discussions continue on how to deal with those next level significant issues. I wouldn't say that the grant application is holding up the Shamrock roof work, but it's, we're hopeful that we can get an answer fairly quickly and get an amount of money that can help at least offset some of the cost on the Shamrock roof.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mayor Concanon.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your
Thank you.
time.
Make a motion to return to the regular order?
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Motion that the matter be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is order that the sum of $118,000 be appropriated from cemetery interest fund to various cemetery accounts.
Make a motion that the matter be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
On the order that $103,599.40 be transferred from unreserved fund balance account to Park sick leave buyback.
Make a motion that the matter be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is the order that $150,000 be transferred from unreserved fund balance account to Medicare match account.
Make a motion that the matter be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Second.
The motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is the order that $750,000 be transferred from overlay reserve account to OPEB trust account.
Same action?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Under new petitions, a petition by Woburn Memorial High School Deca Club for a special event permit for a road race at Hom Pond and area streets on August 9th, 2025.
Make a motion the special event permit be granted.
Second.
There is a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda, under public hearings, is a petition by Tesla Inc. for a special permit under Section 5.156 to install 3 Tesla supercharger cabinets and various other equipment at 425 Washington Street. This was continued from the last meeting.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Ben Rivette, engineer of record for the project.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us where you're at here.
We have relocated the superchargers per the request of the council. We have maintained the same stall count with modifying some of the stall widths and placed all the electrical equipment in the vicinity of the chargers as well. So I hope that we've addressed all the concerns, and if there's any questions, I can answer them.
Good. Questions? Councilor Mercer Bruin.
Thank you, President Dillon. Thank you, sir, for coming tonight. Just a quick question. When we met in committee, one of the last and final items was having the plan stamped?
By an engineer?
Yes, sir. Did we receive that?
I'm not sure if you have received it. We do have a stamped version. I can certainly forward that to council.
Okay, I'm happy to move forward this evening, providing you provide that stamped copy.
Absolutely.
That was one of the things the reason we pushed it to here, so that you would have time to review it with Commissioner Quinn, and there weren't going to be any holdups. So,
My apologies.
as long as you're telling me here tonight, you've got it and you can provide it, then to the council, I'm happy to move things along. You were great. You all worked with us, move the stalls where they're not
we
going to
appreciate the
impact the
input.
residents at all with all-night charging. And there was one other thing we did talk about in committee, was the possibility of allowing other cars to use them that are not electric cars. And you folks said that would be fine.
Yes, there's no restriction from a internal combustion vehicle using the spaces.
Okay.
We prefer they not, but there's nothing
Sure.
stopping them.
But how do we let people know that there's nothing wrong with anybody else using them. That is to be determined, I think, right?
Yes. It is a very large parking lot, so I hope it doesn't come to a point where there's no other parking, but certainly,
The only time I can tell you that that will happen is at Christmas, and it will happen. That's why it came up.
well, I hope
So-
a bunch of those vehicles are electric so we can accommodate them. But we're open to suggestions, but certainly take advice from council on how to achieve that. But
My suggestion is that there just be no signage, nothing that says that you must be an electric car to park there. That would be, I mean, I think that's not terribly restrictive. I'm not asking you to put a sign up that says, hey, anyone can park here. But at least leaving signs off that say it's limited to electric vehicles.
currently, there's one sign that accommodates for the ADA parking. Would you foresee one sign kind of summating that, or how are you picturing? Just want to make sure we get it to your specification.
I didn't imagine it would be limited to one, no. Of course, the ADA parking will be limited to, and Inspector Quinn, or Commissioner Quinn will review that with you. I think within the guidelines, you do need at least one. But I don't want to say tonight it's only going to be one, because the guidelines could have changed for all I know, and you need 2 handicap spots. I don't know, but no, I don't envision limiting it to just one person can use it. Just no signage that says only electric cars can park here. We'll eliminate that.
Okay, so you're saying no signage that restricts parking, but
Exactly.
you don't need a sign that says anybody can park here?
Nope.
Okay.
That would be, I think, unreasonable.
Yeah, there is no signage other than the ADA, so to be clear.
Okay, then we should be in good shape.
All right. Well, we'll make sure to forward these plans to you, signed and sealed, and if there's any other questions, please let us know.
After the council, excuse me, asks their questions, I will be happy to make a motion.
Very good.
President
Anyone
Dillon,
else? Yes.
I just ask that the city clerk's office get a hard copy of whatever plans that are
Yes, full size,
these.
wet stamped.
I would need that would be the same version for the record, yes, please. Thank
And I
you.
believe this still needs to go in front of the building department, so there could be additional changes at that point as well, but we'll certainly start with this set of plans that's been approved and go from there.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
There is a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Do you want to,
Second.
couple of discussions before you close the public hearing? Do you have any, I don't know the plan of record, sorry.
Sure. For discussion,
Please.
President Dillon, some of the conditions.
You have the
They're very
floor.
few, okay.
You have the floor.
The first is that the city clerk receive the most up-to-date copy of the stamped plans. Through President Dillon, to you, sir, what is the date on those plans?
My apologies, they gave me the big version. 05/21/25.
Did you get that? Thank you. Okay. And the only other condition that I have is that if there's any changes to the plans that were presented to the clerk, that the city, if there's any changes as a result of Commissioner Quinn seeing the plan again, that the city council be notified. Other than that, I'm
Very good.
all set.
President Dillon, I just have a question.
Yes.
Did you want the date to be, so in condition number 1, the city clerk receive the up-to-date copy stamp plans dated, and then the date, that was your intent, correct? Okay, thank you.
Everyone's good?
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Counselor.
Go ahead. I'll make a motion that the special permit be granted with the 2 conditions as stated earlier.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Good luck, sir.
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much.
Good luck.
Thank you, council.
Next item on the agenda we have under the Woburn Housing Authority, a special permit under section 7.3 to allow for the construction of over an existing apartment building for an elevator on a non-conforming lot at 1 Library Place. A communication dated May 20th, 2025 was received from John Cashow, the planning director.
Make a motion the communication be received, made part of the permanent record.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Attorney Giuliano, how are you
I'm
tonight?
very well, Mr. President. Thank you so much. I hate to have you move again, but I'm going to use the projector.
That's not a problem, sir.
For the record, Attorney James Giuliano, Giuliano Law Group, 607 Main Street here in Woburn, on behalf of the Woburn Housing Authority. With me here tonight is David Keating, who, as you may know, is the Executive Director of the Housing Authority, and Justin Humphreys from TBA Architects. Justin will be coming up shortly to sort of go over construction scheduling, et cetera. So we're here tonight, obviously, applying for a special permit under Section 7.3 of the Woburn zoning ordinance for the construction of an addition over the existing structure located at 1 Library Place, which is obviously the senior housing that's behind the library. So as you can see from here, this is the existing housing complex as it sits as of today, actually. The purpose of our extension and our addition is to basically create a new lobby area that will really add an elevator, which is clearly necessary for egress, handicap accessibility, et cetera. As some of you may recall, City of Woburn deeded the property over to the Housing Authority in 1981 for housing purposes under Mass General Laws, Chapter 121B. It's been in existence ever since. The Woburn Housing Authority has been in existence for just about 80 years now, 1946. Owns a myriad of properties, as you know, the Tid Home, one's on Campbell Street and Spring Court, just to name a few. There's over 400 units that the Housing Authority manages throughout the city. The library, behind Library Place, is 45 of those units of the 400 that are being housed there. The property sits on 35,000 square feet and is, the layout of the property is 35,000 square feet of living space. It actually sits on 2.5 acres, which is dedicated as R2 zoning district, if you can believe it, in open space. So with this property, and the reason why we're here under section 7.3 is, if you've noticed, there is absolutely no frontage to this property at all. Abbott Court kind of goes down, but it's not, it's stopped by the Towanda Club. So there is no frontage. Where you have no frontage, you have no front setbacks, you have no side lot lines, you have essentially nothing. So this property is completely non-conforming in every way you can possibly imagine. The good news is again, we're not coming out with any footprint, so we're not adding much ground cover at all. We're just going straight up based on that existing, you can kind of see it under that tree, but where you would enter now through the senior housing, we're just basically going up. So what the end result is going to look like is something like that. And I'll have Justin sort of go through the plans a little bit and get into a little bit more detail. We are doing some additional work to that entryway. As you know now, there's some ramps and some stairs and things that will get you into the lobby area. They are doing some work to that'll sort of, new walkways, curbing and things of that nature. However, it is going to be under, very minimal, under 2,500 square feet of what's existing and new. As you're aware, Chapter 15 is obviously the groundwater protection district. This is in the groundwater protection district. So anything over 2,500 square feet, we would need an additional special permit for. We are going well below that. So we are not disturbing hardly any soil at this point. So that's why we're only applying under section 7.3. Construction, I'll just go into a little bit about construction, but there is phasing that is going on. It will take approximately 14 months from start to finish. It's extensive, especially with the elevators, the shafts, and things of that nature. So there is some extensive work with the structure, but in the end, it'll be great. So I am going to bring up Justin Humphreys, who is the architect with TBA. He's kind of going to go over the staging, the phasing, breaking things down, putting them back up with a little more detail and using the plans that we have in front of you. So.
Good evening, Justin Humphreys, Principal of TBA Architects. We have been working on this project for, I think, 4 years at this point. We're finally here. As was said, this is anticipated to be a 14-month construction project. It shouldn't be 14 months of construction on the exterior, but we have to wait for elevator equipment to arrive. This is an additional elevator that we're putting in. It is an addition that sits on top of the existing entry plaza. That'll be taken down because we need to do new foundations that'll support a 6-story structure. And I lost it. But the footprint sits on the existing plaza. So what you see in this image, a lot of this is very glassy and open, but it is a new entry, 2 levels of entry. There's 2 levels of entry right now. This will make both levels of entry fully accessible. And so there's a new entry lobby at the first floor and at the ground level. Then it goes up. The rest of the floors are the elevator shaft and elevator lobby on each floor. There we go. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to jump. This is a little small, but this does talk about the phasing. So what we do plan on having the builder do is they have set up a temporary entrance. We've taken over one of the living units temporarily that is off of the main parking lot. So it's fully accessible. Entrance will be moved there, and nobody will be going in or around in the construction area. The construction area we've kept to a minimal footprint. Basically out to the curb line, a little bit beyond the curb line as it is right now in the turnaround drive, and then a bit on either side. The next step after we activate that entry, they will go in, they'll begin demolishing the existing entry plaza that's there, and then they will start foundations. Foundation system is the same system that the existing building has, and then they'll begin building up from there. We'll build the new section of the building, install the new elevator, and then construct out front at the main entry, which is the first floor of the building, not the ground floor, the lowest, but at the main entry off the drive. We're going to relocate the curb line a little bit, and that's going to allow us to make a fully accessible main entry. Right now, the plaza is accessible, the doors are accessible going in, but the walks and everything getting up to that main entry are beyond slope limitations, so it's not fully accessible. So this will make a fully accessible ramp and stair entrance into the building, and a little bit more level drop-off spot at that point. So once the new elevator and the exterior is fully done, we plan to have them reactivate the entries there so that it can be used, and then the last stage will be to upgrade the existing elevator fully. And then the living unit will be turned back, the temporary entrance will be dismantled, living unit will be turned back, and it should be fully operational. In the end, the entire goal of this project is to provide better accessibility for the building and better service as well. To have a 6-story elderly living tower with only a single elevator means if something goes wrong, then everybody's out of luck. So I think in terms of the plans, you can see this is the ground level. As I said, this the footprint that you see that's sort of in white and surrounded by the gray walls, that is the footprint of the existing entry plaza as it stands now. Elevator goes in, and the new entry is to the side, essentially almost in the same location that it is now. We turn it 90 degrees. At the first floor, main entry level, as I said, we've got a new entry vestibule, we've got a larger entry lobby, and the accessible ramp and stairs leading up to it. And then the remaining levels, the shape changes a little bit, but it is essentially, as I said, elevator lobby and the new elevator at the other levels. So if I jump, these might be, I think the 3D rendering is a little bit better, but a lot of glassy curtain wall and metal panel, sort of blending a little bit the existing building and the library, the look of a bit of the library across the way.
So we'll certainly take questions based on that. A couple things that I wanted to mention as well. The building commissioner, obviously, we did have discussions and sent him the plans. There was no concerns from Commissioner Quinn. I did see that Director Cashel had no issues with his comments as well. So, obviously, that being said, and being that the Housing Authority is a vital part of the city, obviously, for many reasons, we have no concerns. We would request that this get passed tonight on the floor with one condition, and that condition would be obviously the typical condition that the plans of record shall be the plans that we submitted with the application by TBA Architects dated April 25th of 2025. And again, we can certainly entertain any questions based on that presentation at this point.
Thank you. Councilor DeMambro.
Attorney Giuliano, I'm in favor of this project. My only concern is, doing an aerial view here on Google Maps. Where's your lay-down yard going to be for all the material, the construction office trailer, any type of heavy equipment, so on and so forth? Would it be on the grassy area? Would it be in the parking lot? And I'm assuming if it's in the parking lot, it's going to be kind of off to the back, I don't know, right-hand corner, adjacent to Library Field. And if, in fact, that's where the lay-down yard is, I would definitely suggest it's a cordoned-off, fenced-off area. Again, there's a lot of kids that play in the park and so on and so forth. That is a slight concern of mine. Being it's construction equipment, so on and so forth, and materials, you don't want the kids playing all over it, so on and so forth.
Yeah, thank you for the question. That is a primary concern of ours, is how we secure the areas that are going to be working. They plan on having the trailer at the rear of the building and some parking for the workers. But the laydown area, the working area, is going to be at the front of the building. It'll be fully behind fence. It's fairly tight, but that is where the work is happening, and the materials and the equipment that they have to be there at the front. They don't want to be going around the building all of the time.
Okay.
But they have planned to fence off the area fully. They've got signage. There's already signage, and they've worked out with the public safety services where the temporary entrance is going to be, so they know that ambulance will be pulling up alongside the building rather than coming into that entry drive. The fencing will be left off a little bit, enough that an emergency vehicle can still make a turnaround in that loop.
And delivery vehicles will also be able to tractor trailers.
Everything, the delivery is going to happen at the rear of the building.
Type tractor trailers that might have to show up there, delivery trucks for food and so on and so forth.
I think what has been worked out with the safety services is that to be able to get an ambulance to turn around there, if it's a longer, larger delivery truck, it's not going to be able to do that loop, but I believe deliveries are taken at the rear of the building now.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bourne.
Oh, thank you. As soon as you said this was an elevator project, I went, oh yeah, that's why it's going to take so long. You can't do anything fast with elevators. All the parts are all brand new. You guys don't have to source any real old parts or anything. It's all going to be brand new.
No, yeah, correct. The new elevator is entirely new.
Nice.
New shaft, all new equipment. And then the way that an elevator modernization works is that the existing elevator will be replaced in its entirety too. The elevator shaft stays and the hoist beam and things, but all of the equipment and the elevator cab and everything is all fully replaced.
And the timing of the 14 months, you've already sourced who you're going to use and awarded a bid for the elevator?
Yes, we actually have.
Yes,
We
okay.
have a contractor on board. We've already gone through most of the submittals. And so The intent is that the elevator equipment and everything is ordered so that by the time the shaft is built and we're ready to start installing, the equipment is there in order to keep going. And this is also why we've asked that we get the new elevator done and everything operational, and we have, so that we have one elevator in operation while we do the modernization of the old elevator.
That's great. It's good to hear. I was involved in a project recently where there wasn't an elevator available. That was difficult at best.
I've done several projects with elderly towers with a single elevator, and they have to relocate everybody. And I think that was a big reason why this became the direction for this project, is to add an elevator rather than just do a modernization.
Well, the only other thing I wish you were here asking for was some more spots in that building for our elderly here in Woburn. We just don't have enough of it. But I want to thank David and the committee for bringing this forward, and anything I can do to help support it and keep it going. I'm sure all the safety measures will be put in, some of the things that Councilor Nemambro talked about, but looking forward to seeing it get underway and get finished. Thank you.
Councilor Demers.
I don't.
You didn't have anything? Okay.
I'll defer to my
Councilor
colleague.
Torr.
Thank you. Unrelated note, but related. Thank you to Mr. Keating. You and I spoke probably about a month ago in regards to a visit I had from a resident over at Library Place during my office hours about a leak in the roof and damage to their unit. And you and I spoke, just for the rest of the council, David and I spoke, I think, the next day, really. And within a week, I got an email from the tenant, the resident, saying thank you, that someone came out, they located the crack in the roof, they sealed it up, then we had like a nor'easter the next day, which we've had plenty of rain, and they didn't have the leak anymore, and then that they were going to go ahead and fix a unit. So thank you very much for such a prompt response to the issue. That you don't see that very often, so that was great. So thank you, first and foremost. In regards to this petition, I think this is great. Speaking to some of the constituents in Library Place, I think there's been substantial issues with that elevator that functions now. So having that second elevator to service them is going to be fantastic. So I love it. I also spoke to Commissioner Quinn about this when I was talking to him on an unrelated matter, just to echo Attorney Giuliano's statement. He had no concerns over it. The only thing that I would ask, being in construction myself and seeing the people that we service over there and having the kids, I kind of echo Councilor DeMambro's sentiments about kind of the where we're going to put the material. I would like, and it can be worked out with and submitted to Commissioner Quinn and then the fire department, just like a construction safety plan. You know what I mean? Where the material is going to be stored, the signage, things like that. So it doesn't have to be super extensive, but something on file that is to the liking of Commissioner Quinn and Fire Chief Kenton, just for the duration of the project, because again, where it's such an accessible area with the residents there, kids and things like that, I think it would be a good idea. You probably were going to do it anyways, but just if we can put that as a condition, I'd appreciate it. But other than that, my full support, I appreciate it. Thank you again, David. And that's all I have. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone's good?
Motion to
Just from the chair, this is my ward. I as well spoke to Commissioner Quinn at length. He is very comfortable with it. I am very comfortable with it, and I look forward to helping our seniors that reside over there have even a better place to live, and this is all good stuff, so.
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion that under 7.3, we make the finding that the change, extension, or alteration of the property is not substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming use to the neighborhood.
Second.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
I'll make a motion that the following are the conditions for the special permit, and that the site plan of record is April 25th, 2025, and that the second condition be a construction safety plan be submitted to the building commissioner and the fire department.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion that the special permit be granted subject to the conditions as outlined.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to
Good
thank
luck.
everyone for
Thank you.
expediting everything, and I know the Housing Authority appreciates all your hard work, so thank
We
you very much.
appreciate
Thank you.
them
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Next item on the agenda is LJB Badminton Club LC for special permit under section 5.1 subsection 17B to allow for approximately 13,660 square feet expansion of an indoor sports facility for a total of approximately 21,745 square feet at 78 Olympia Avenue. A communication dated May 20th, 2025 was received from John Cashel, the planning director.
Make a motion that the communication be received and made part of the permanent record.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
They're all-
opposed?
Sorry, there were also updated plans submitted via email today.
Same action.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Attorney Douglas, how are you tonight?
Doing well, President Dillon. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and good evening, Board. I'm here tonight to represent LJB Badminton Club LLC, the petitioner in tonight's special permit request. I'm joined here by Jay Lee, who is the petitioner, and as well as Robert Jacobian, who is the senior leasing director at Cummings Property, the owner of the building at question here. We're seeking a special permit under Section 5.1, 17B of the zoning ordinance to allow the expansion of a fitness facility within the existing building that's located at 78 Olympia Avenue. Specifically, we're asking to expand the petitioner's badminton facility from 8,085 square feet to 21,745 square feet. This is just for the badminton facility itself. This is not the office space or interior mezzanine areas, which would be, I think, bring the total to about 27,562 square feet. Just slight background here. The building at 78 Olympia Avenue, it's a 112,000 square foot, a little bit over that square foot building. It's a multi-tenant building used for, it's been used for different types of training facilities, karate, taekwondo, and more recently there was a gym. The space currently occupied by the petitioner, as well as the space they are proposing to expand into, was previously used by Athletic Evolution, which some of you may know. It was a large public gym that operated for many years. The petitioner's club has operated at 78B in this space since February 1st of this year. And there are currently 5 badminton courts in the facility. This special permit would allow us to expand up to 14. So the hours of operation for that would be 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week, with peak usage occurring in the evenings and on weekends. Evenings as in just right after work, but not extending too late. And I can have Mr. Lee speak more to that as needed. But these levels are naturally limited by the number of courts and are mostly outside the standard business hours. There would be light strain on traffic, as opposed to the gym that was there. You wouldn't have people that are constantly, large numbers of people who are constantly there. It's very much limited to the number of people who are available on the courts. And again, this would result in 14 courts in total. The planning department reviewed the petition and did issue a staff memo dated May 20th, 2025, which raised no concerns. We've submitted an updated site plan of record today. I believe that Attorney Joe Tarby submitted that earlier today. And a set of proposed conditions, which is the usual condition of just tying the project to that plan. So if the council does vote to approve tonight, we respectfully request that approval includes the condition referenced in the site plan of record to ensure that any substantial changes return to council for review. We believe that this is a beneficial project for the community. This is all indoors. This is not something where there's going to be additional noise. For instance, like pickleball courts that oftentimes when you're implementing those, there's additional noises that are concerns outside. This is all kept inside in a space with an existing footprint. So I welcome any questions.
Very good, sir. Questions? Yes, Councilor Mercer-Bruin.
Through the chair, we had an opportunity to talk earlier. Thank you for that. And that was my first question to you, not pickleball, because that is the hot game of the time.
It is.
But
Not
badminton equally as hot?
I'm not a badminton player myself, but nor am I a pickleball player. So I can't speak to whether it's the new trend or whether it will emerge as the new trend. But it's certainly quieter than pickleball, and it, especially here, being able to be played indoors, existing footprint of a former gym. I think that this is great. It also limits the number of people in the building. So unlike the gym, we had tons of people in there making noise, lifting weights. Now this is limited to the number of individuals who'd be playing on the courts. So.
And badminton, I mean, gosh, that is very quiet, right? But at the end of the day, and there's only 4 people if you play doubles, right?
Sure.
It's kind of the same thing as pickleball. Right, so if every court were filled for the whole time, there's 4 people times 14.
56. Right.
Yes, okay. And there's no plan to make it into pickleball?
There is no plan to make it into pickleball. So, in fact, actually, Mr. Lee and his wife are professional badminton players.
Okay.
I believe that Mr. Lee's wife won several world championships.
Yes, she was the world number 2.
Number 2 in the world. So this is not a pickleball. we are not a pickleball
Wow.
practitioner here.
You should put that on your sign, if Tom Quinn lets you.
And Mr. Lee himself is a professional coach. He's coached on a global scale before. So he's
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I didn't ask about the pickleball because I'm opposed to pickleball, because frankly, if you were inside, I don't think anybody would be able to hear. If it was outside, that might be a different
Absolutely.
conversation. But I think this is great. I think this is a great use for that location. It's certainly easy to get most of the time to get in and out of. It can be challenging at some times during the day, but I take no exception to this. Welcome. I hope the council feels the same.
Very good. Councilor Papalato, you're going to
Thank you, Mr.
expound
President.
on...
I am a pickleball player.
There you go.
And as I've gotten more into it, I've realized that badminton is a lot bigger than you think it is. It's not what we perceive it to be, and they're excellent athletes, and they're excellent at what they do, and a lot of badminton players have migrated to pickleball, and they're excellent players as well. So I fully support this. I think you'll do great. And congratulations on your number 2 rating.
Well,
We're going to expect you to be getting that number 1 slot, or how close are you?
Councilor Papalato, are you not known as a professional pickleball player in your reputation, from what I've heard?
I'm not at that level. I strive to be that way, but not quite.
Thank you.
Number
Anyone
2
else?
in Woburn, maybe, but
There you go. Yes,
Just a
Councilor
quick
Mercer-Bruin.
follow-up question. I'm making the assumption, based on what I've read from the planning board and some comments from Commissioner Quinn, that we're well in line with the parking that we need, especially based on the previous use.
yes. Yes, absolutely. That's my understanding and speaking to the client as well.
Okay.
So.
Very good.
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion to approve the special permit with the hours of operation as stated by the petitioner, which I believe, if you could repeat for our clerk, sir?
Yes, that would be 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., weekdays and weekends.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
On the motion,
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we also add a condition that would be the site plan of record would be listed as June 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. And there is a
Then
second motion.
For approval
All,
with the
The main
two
motion.
conditions, yep.
all in favor?
Aye.
That passes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, good.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Good
Thank
luck,
you,
sir.
President
Good
Dillon.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Council Demers et al. Proposed zoning amendment to Section 2 definition of outdoor dining, restaurant, fast food, in Section 5.1 subsection 29 by adding note 29 and notes to 5.1 table of use regulations by adding new note 29. A report was received from the committee on ordinance was received ought to pass.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this matter? Please step forward.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second and on the motion?
Yes.
I just wanted to commend Councilor Demers and Councilor Toro and Councilor DeMambro for bringing this forward. It's great, big need for it in our city, and I thank them all for their work.
I echo the sentiments. Thank you as well. There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes.
Make a motion that the order be adopted by roll call.
Second.
There is,
Well, you adopted it already.
Oh, I thought that was the closing of the public
Oh,
hearing.
yep, you're right. Sorry.
there's a motion and a second for roll call.
It was on the
Second.
motion thing.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's roll call.
Roll call.
Sorry, I confused everybody there. Council Campbell.
Aye.
Council Demers.
Aye.
Council DeMambro.
Aye.
Council Ferrullo.
Aye.
Council Mercer Bruin.
Aye.
Council Papalato.
All right.
Council Toro.
Aye.
Council Viola.
Aye.
Council Dillon.
Aye. That passes.
It might have been the first time I won up to Lindsay, counting it.
Terrible.
Next item on the agenda is an order canceling the July 3rd, 2025 City Council meeting and changing the start time of the July 15th meeting to 6 PM.
Make a motion the order be adopted.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and allow a late filing to the orders of the day.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Late filing is a petition of St. Anthony's of Padua Church for a special event permit at St. Anthony's Festival, Ferrullo Field, on June 7th, 2025. I'll make a motion that the special event permit be granted.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion to return to the regular order.
Second.
Motion and a second to return to the regular order. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll make-
That passes.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.